Right everybody, welcome back. We've got a fitting video for you today with the release of all the new ranges. We've got the Ping G440 in. We're going to do a little bit of testing. I've got my good friend Ben in. Ben is a 10 handicap. As you can see, he's quite tall. He's got long levers, it's the ball quite far. So one thing that we're going to look to test with these drivers is it hits the ball a long way. He's got a lot of club speed and ball speed, but he can be a little bit inconsistent across the face with strike location. So one thing that Pings have always been known for is forgiveness and consistency. So we're going to look to test that speed against forgiveness. So let's get into it. Right, so we're going to go over to the ball fitting station. We're going to get Ben to choose a golf ball to use for the fitting. I'm going to choose for you, Ben. I'm going to get you to use the Titleist AVX. Yep. The Titleist AVX is a low spinning ball. We're anticipating the Ping being slightly high spin, the speed that Ben creates. We are going to look to try and neutralise the spin a little bit with the AVX golf ball. So we're going to start off by testing Ben's own driver, which is the 2016 model of the TaylorMade M2. It's set at 10.5 degrees of loft, and we've got a Fujikura Pro 56 gram stiff flex, so it's a little bit of an older model of the Pro 2.0. Standard grip, standard length, standard everything. So we're going to see how Ben gets on with that, and then we're going to measure the G440 against that. Right, so we're going to start off by hitting a few of yours. So you may notice, Ben, from a previous video that we did, fixing your slice, a little bit of history on Ben's game. Always faded it, really. And bad shot has been a bit of an uncontrollable slice, and we've worked recently on trying to be a bit more draw biased. We've probably just neutralised it. So although we might not be drawing it today, we are hopefully going to see a slightly straighter fade than what we normally see. That's a good shot. So 289 there total, so again we can see that he's got a lot of speed in there. Just going to look at trying to optimise the driver for you. See if we can maybe straighten it up a little bit. Just something that'll help you play your style. Keep the ball in play while still hitting it as far as you do. So once you've hit a few shots to get some baseline numbers, we're going to have a quick run through the numbers, see where we're at, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, so we can see there that a couple of strikes high in toe, a couple of strikes low in heel. So that may be one thing that we're contending with. That's the bad shot really, isn't it? Yeah. Just sort of gets away from you a little bit. Yeah. And I think your habit's always been to correct that with the path going more left, which, as we know, starts the ball more left, yeah, but creates more of a slice. So
that's my normal bad shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you overdo the good stuff, we can get that occasionally. Yeah. Just a straight pull. But we're not like there. You passed 2.4 out to win. Yeah. Which is way more neutral than we ever was. Can't remember what the numbers were. Can you remember what they were? Like you're getting up to double figures occasionally.
Yeah, like averaged around 8.
Yeah. Right, so let's stop there. Let's have a run through the numbers, see where we're at. So we're averaging at 159 ball speed. Launch is a little low. The average ball flight we were looking at, we did get one of the old shots missing to the right, but generally it was a bit of a pull. So if we look across the numbers, launching it low, maybe closing the face down a little too much. Spin was a fraction low as well. You had one where the spin went up. But if we look at where that missed 40 yards right, that was the one that was the sort of old swing, if you will. So 69 feet in peak height, it's pretty low. Although you are getting a lot of speed because you have got speed and power. So maybe the route that we go down now is we try and look at, can we maintain the distance, but just get a driver that's playable on a golf course in terms of the balls actually finishing within a fairway width, going back to that consistency side of things. Yeah, let's start off with the Ping Max. Right, so we moved on to the G440 Max head in a 10.5. The weight is in neutral. We're just going to do a standard like for like testing. everything is set up the same as what your M2 was. So we're just going to see what the differences are, and then we're going to move into the SFT model. Looking at your pattern of your ball flight then being predominantly a pull, we had one that was the old swing, if you want to call it that. This fitting may take a slightly different route than expected. I was sort of thinking, do we go down the SFT route to try and straighten the fade up and encourage you to swing more to the right and everything else? But talking through your swing last time about the limitations that you have in your swing and your patterns of dragging it through and not releasing the club head, maybe we stick to this ball flight, obviously being a lot better because you're not losing it to the right, sticking to this but maybe putting you in something that's a bit more, not fade biased, but encourages the ball to start straighter and not be as pully. So yeah, the ping has a flat setting. When we look at the settings on the adapter, the ping has the ability to go up and down 1 and 1.5 degrees, and in the flat setting it has the possibility of staying same loft setting but flatter, or going up a degree or down a degree. So we can sort of work through them settings to try and straighten this ball flight out. But yeah, like I said, your patterns have changed, your tendency have changed, which is good. It's now trying to find something that suits how you're swinging it. So let's see how this goes as a like for like test, and then again we'll start to tweak from there. So yeah, just talking through a few differences between the models. SFT being straight flight technology, there's a little bit more heel weighting. CG placement is sort of more to the heel and further back than the other model. So two things that's going to help. It's going to help the ball launch, and it's going to help the face close. So two things that the heel weighting will help is it'll help the toe overtake the heel and close the face a little bit easier, but it also adds a little bit more draw gear effect. So by moving the weight towards the heel, the gear effect moves more to the centre of the club. So even if you strike it central, it's gonna try and be a little bit more draw bias. The other thing that we'd expect with a max model, we'd expect slightly higher ball speeds, being slightly less MOR than the SFT model. We are expecting ball speeds to be a little bit higher, a little bit more of a neutral setup. So in terms of the route that we may go down, it may be a more optimal setting and club 4 bend today. It's just a case of managing launch and spin and trying to keep ball speed in a good place to where we're not losing distance, but the main thing is just getting that ball in play. Starting straighter, but we're not seeing that banana slice coming, and it's slightly on the heel side of centre, but again that could add a little bit of gear effect to fade it, but it's not doing, which is interesting. Right, let's have a look at the numbers. So just looking at the comparisons between the two, so again we set them up pretty similar. Ball speed has gone down a little bit, so you've lost 3 miles an hour in ball speed, but your launch and spin is a little bit better. But the main thing we're seeing there, if you look in the top right corner of the screen, is the dispersion circle. So the red one being your driver and the yellow one being the ping. Dispersion is just a lot tighter, and if we start to look at the club data, strike location is not too dissimilar, but path and face, so path is exactly the same, but your face is just starting that ball a little bit straighter. Again, when we start to look at what we're wanting from the driver, we're starting to get this ball in place. So the bad shots are better. Again, the dispersion circle's better. We've not got this low dropping out the air ball flight that runs for miles but could go left or right. We've got a little bit more spin, which keeps the ball straighter. We've got a ball that's in play. So I think that's a really good start. I think that's going to be pretty difficult to beat unless we can keep that dispersion and get our distance up a little bit. So we're just losing 10 yards on the total. However, the carry is very similar, so that is spin rate. So let's see what we can do in terms of maybe just trying to optimize the max head, and then we'll go into the SFT and just see what the differences are. So we're just going to move the weight into the heel. We are predominantly heel strike it. So by moving the weight into the heel, we're going to move the weight behind the strike to try and increase the ball speed and get that distance back to where it was. If we start to create, because again, moving the weight into the heel can create gear effect in terms of a draw. the miss is left. What we can do is we can move it onto the flatter setting, try and start the ball a little bit straighter just to counteract it if it is going more left, but I think we've got a couple of ideas that we can straighten it up and get the ball speed up. So, right, let's hit a few shots with that. So again, just seeing that ball going left, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it's starting left and going left.
Yeah.
Which means if we flatten it off a little bit and we get the ball starting a little bit straighter, it does actually turn into a little bit of a straight draw, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like your goal swing suited to crunching hands.
Yeah.
Real compression.
That's what I
Which
work.
is evident when he's on the golf course. These divots just get so deep and left sometimes.
That's what we're working on this year, is to shallow them, innit?
Shallow it out a little bit, yeah. Sounded a better strike. Getting way more distance from that.
Yeah.
Let's see where that strike location is, right out the middle of the face. But again, strike out the middle of the face. Gear effects maybe starting to turn that ball to the left. So let's flatten it off a
I'm
little.
being lazy like that.
Not the good swings.
Obviously. Me. Go straight into me. Yeah.
Right, so we're sticking at 10.5 for now. We made a little bit of change with launch angle
Yeah.
and spin in a minute, maybe lofting it down a degree. But I like where we're at with it. I just want to flatten it off to try and get the ball starting straighter, because the last 4 or 5 swings that you've made
Yeah.
have all been good swings,
But started off.
but they just start straight to left and go left.
Yeah.
So the last 5 swings are maybe closer to what I want you to do going forward,
Yeah.
but they are getting the ball turning left, which is, again,
Yeah, no, it's need to start straight.
we're trying to straighten these things up. So flattening it off, starting it a little bit straighter to right, but still, again, getting that shape that we're after. That's close.
So it's a high strike.
Yeah. I think that's maybe a last minute.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the left shot's good for your golf swing because the path starts doing pretty well.
Yeah. Just encourages the right
And
thing.
then you can keep that handle dragging release and have the face more square to open.
Yeah.
Which is
Almost
just-
easy to manage,
It's
isn't it?
just a scary place to be for a slicer.
Yeah.
You always want to try to get the ball right.
So I sometimes worry about your launch starting to get on the low side, because that's playing back into your habit of covering the ball and swinging left a bit too much.
Yeah.
If you're swinging from the inside and getting a bit more up on the ball,
Yeah.
you probably are going to launch it a little bit higher, which is what we're after. So when I see your launch drop a little bit, I sort of tend to think you're getting back into your old swing. So to see that launch go up to 12 from being sort of 9 or 10 is good.
It's quite forgiving in some ways, isn't it?
Ball's in play in it
Yeah.
quite a lot. I mean, 25 yards left is 5 yards off the fairway, isn't it? So it's not dead.
No. I mean, it all
It's
depends
not
on-
quite what we're looking for, but when we get onto the golf course, that's not always the answer, is it? It's a case of what just gets you in play by any means necessary. Right, so just running through the numbers after moving the weight into the heel, it's done exactly what we wanted it to. Ball speed has gone up to 162, which means distance has gone back up. So we've got 291 total and a lot more carry, actually, 274. Still a little bit left side dominant. We did put it on the flatter setting just to try and straighten that up, but I think based on Ben's tendency to get a bit slicey and get a bit more on the outside with the path, I don't really mind him being down that left-hand side because it just encourages him to get the club a little bit more on the inside, swinging more up at the ball. I did mention about launch angle. We can get a little bit low in launch because we get on top of the ball, cover it, swing left. So anytime I see that launch angle drop, it does tell me that he's getting back into his old tendencies. So to see that launch angle go up a little bit is good. Spin's a bit more optimal to what we're trying to do to get distance. So still a little bit heely with strike, so I'm definitely going to look at keeping that weight in the heel. Again, just keeping it on that flatter setting, just going to encourage him to straighten that ball flight up. But we're definitely in a good place there. I think that's got us in a final fit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the SFT model. and just look at comparing. We're probably going to expect this ball to go a little bit more to the left, but just see what the differences are in general. So knowing what your tendencies are, half gets more left. We're now being a bit pulley. We used to be a bit slicey. And all we're trying to do is just straighten you up, really, aren't we? We don't want to sacrifice anything that's going to make you not hit it as far as you normally do. Yeah. So it'd be good to see what the launch and spin is with the SFT head. Because one thing I was thinking in terms of how we fit this is, with it being a club that wants to go left and your bad shot is where your path gets more outside, is this going to start going really left to where it's going to encourage you to start to straighten your path up? Okay. So that's the route that we're looking to go down. Yeah. It'd just be interesting to see what the differences are between the SFT and the Max in terms of distance, ball speed, spin and launch and all these things that are going to affect the distance. So let's hit a few of this. Let's see where we're at with the numbers, and then we'll do a comparison after. Because again, going back to what this head does, weight's in the heel, face wants to close, the toe wants to take over the heel. Gear effects, making it a bit more draw bias in gear effect, so we can move that weight into the draw plus to sort of make that more effective. And again, just see what the differences are if we maintain the distance and numbers, and then see what the dispersion looks like. To the top. Right, I want to get back into that right pocket and then go there.
Like you're throwing the club down behind you.
Do you remember when we did that drag drill?
Yeah.
Right, here, here,
Yeah.
and out, or out here,
Yeah.
towards that corner.
Yeah. You want to come here, down, into the corner.
Don't go round so quick. Just go out and up, 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 up.
Oh yeah.
Up over your head. Yeah.
So from here, down.
Good. Don't force it, just try and work it on that path. There you go. Right, so we've done a bit of testing on the SFT. So as you saw there, we did lose a swing a little bit. I think that's very relatable to a true fitting. You hit a lot of golf balls. Consistency can sort of dip a little bit somewhere in the fitting. So we'll have a quick run through the numbers just to see what the differences were, or if there was any. But I think there was a good conversation there between what we're working on in the swing, where we start to lose it, and one thing a fitting can do, because you're changing a lot with the club and you are hitting a lot of shots, is you can start to work through the swing and see where the swing shows you up a little bit, where it starts to go off, and what your patterns are for your bad shots. So we can always work through that and try and work back to a bit of consistency. But we did start to lose ball speed a little bit, one thing expected. Launch went up a fraction as well. We got a couple of degrees higher in launch. Again, with the weight being a little bit further back in the head, a little bit more heel bias. We'll probably tend to see that. And it's fitting these clubs for the right people that need that specifically. Do they need launch? Do they need something that's sort of anti-right? Or are you looking to optimise the distance? And do you need the smaller tweaks like we've got in the Max head to move the weight slightly more heel, or flatten it a little bit just to get the little tweaks to maximise what you're doing? So we did see it go a little bit more left, starting a bit more left. Distance did go down, spin went up. Again, all the things that we sort of expect it to do. But all in all, I think that there's, from a fitting point of view, I think there's big enough differences between the head models to fit for, again, a range of different types of golfers, but also tweak it to optimise each head for each golfer. We'll have a quick final run through each head. I'm going to hit a few myself and just see what the differences are between the head models. Right, so I'm going to start off by hitting the Max head in all standard settings. So 10.5 degree on standard setting, weight is in neutral setting. Start off with that, see what numbers we get. Because I've got my coach sat here, I'm going to go into the higher tee peg, which is what he wants to see me in. We'll give that a go.
Nice to get it airborne.
Yeah. Right, let's see what's made of. flippy one, but what a bad strike. But it feels solid. Quite intrigued to try the SFT. My shot being a fade can get a bit slicey. Maybe it'll straighten it up a little bit. Maybe the SFT might be my first ever draw shot with the driver. So, ball speed's 157.5, launch at 12.6 and backspin at 2.7, nearly 2.8. Numbers are in a pretty good place, 289 total. I'm pretty happy with the numbers there. Ball speed down a little bit for where I'd normally be. I'd normally be in the early 160s, so that may be one thing. Path and face are both matching up, so 2 degrees left. So it is pretty much I aim a little bit left to play for my fade, so it's really just going dead straight. With my path being a little bit left, it's probably helping close the face a little bit, I think, compared to what I've seen on clubs in the past. So yeah, it'd be good to see. I'm going to put the same swing on the SFT model and just see what the differences are in terms of face closure and helping close that face. Right, so into the SFT model. Again, neutral settings, everything's the same. I'm not going to change my alignment based on the shots going left. I'm going to keep it the same, just open up a little bit and play my normal shot. And just try and get a true comparison between what the different heads are doing. A bit unfair. Might be a game of this. Ball speed's going up.
Mm-hmm. Funny when
This is why you need to test and be fitted. You never know what will happen. Liking it so far, distance has dropped a bit. So that didn't quite go how I expected it to. I expected the spin numbers to go up a little. Ball speed's actually gone up a mile per hour. Distance has come down purely just a spin. You can see the blue ball flight just climbs a little bit higher, drops a little bit quicker, not quite as penetrating, so a little bit of a drop in distance, but dispersions are good. Let's have a look at the club data. Yeah, again, so path and face, not too dissimilar. Strike location's a little bit lower, but generally speaking, it's pretty similar. I did expect spin rate to go up a little bit. I didn't expect the ball speed to go up. Maybe I was hitting it a little better. But again, this is why you get fit, and this is why we test them. I want to really see what these heads do in terms of different swing profiles and make sure that we're matching it to the right people. So there it is, Ping G440 testing SFT model versus the Max. Again, we had Ben testing it. I had a few towards the end, just to see what the differences were, and 2 different swing profiles, just to see how they shaped in for you and me. What were your thoughts on it?
I struggled towards the end, but it gave me an understanding how to shorten the dispersion of where am I hitting the ball.
Yeah, I think that was the main thing, weren't it? We started off in saying that distance wasn't really what we were chasing.
No.
We were trying to get the dispersion a little better.
Finding fairways, really.
Yeah, finding fairways, that's the main thing. You hit it far enough for any golf course, really. If you found fairways with that distance, it'd help you score better.
I found the first driver, was it the G440 Max?
Yeah, the Max model that we started off
I
with.
found that more comfortable using that than I did with the other one, but that could also come down to tiredness with how many balls I did.
Yeah, maybe fatigue towards the end. We did it a lot of shots there. I think we hit the nail on the head early doors. I think the Max was a good fit. I think getting the weight in the heel and then flattening it off, it just played into all your patterns, that your good and your bad shots, and trying to encourage you down the right route of swinging more out and up with the driver. Yeah, and that maybe plays into preferences a little bit.
Yeah.
What you prefer, the look and the feel of. And I ask people all the time in fittings, how did it feel? What did you think? Because a lot of it is personal preference. If you don't like the look and feel of something, you're probably not going to put as good a swing on it, as confident a swing on it. So I think that plays a big part in it. And yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head pretty early doors, didn't we?
Yeah, I think I found with the G40 Max was just a little bit more forgiveness, compared to my own driver. I
Yeah.
understand my ability and what I need to work on
Yeah.
going forward this season. But in regards to the G40 Max, I find that I'll find in the fairway more often than I would with my own.
Yeah, I think that's the mantra of Ping, isn't it? Is forgiveness. I don't think they've been known for being the longest driver on tour by any means, but one thing they do provide your club golfers with is with help.
Yeah, and no matter how far you hit it, is it? It's
No,
about
I think, yeah, I think for a lot of people there's a fine line between finding more fairways and hitting it further. For you, it's a case of finding more fairways. But again, it's understanding your game, understanding your profile, and what the best fit is for you.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll wrap it up. Any more information on any new stuff that's coming out, we'll be sending more videos out shortly. We've got the new Wilson that have arrived today, so we'll be doing a video on the Wilson drivers and woods. The new GT1 is also being released, and we're getting that in the fitting kits. We have got another brand coming, which we'll not give any information on that yet because we haven't confirmed it, but we are looking to get another brand into the fitting centre. So there's going to be a lot more in terms of videos coming. Simon, who's warming up in the next bay for our match shortly, is doing a few videos in terms of our versus match. So there'll be a lot more content to come. So subscribe, keep up to date, and we'll see you on the next one.